Hi, for my Unit 4 presentation, I did bony versus cartilaginous fish. What are bony and cartilaginous fish? Bony fish are fish that have a bony skeleton and belong to the class AICE, while cartilaginous fish are fish that have jaws and skeletons made of cartilage and belong to the class Conodriftes. On the bottom, you can see a diagram of the bony fish, which have dorsal fins, a caudal fin, an anal fin, a lateral line, pelvic fins, pectoral fins, and an upper column. While on the other side, you can see a cartilaginous fish, which has gills, denticles, a skeleton, oily liver, and pectoral fins. Classification and taxonomy. Taxonic placement. Cartilaginous fish are in the class Conodriftes, while bony fish are in the class Osteicis. Osteicis can be both salmon or angelfish, while Conodriftes are seen as sharks or stingrays. Knowing this classification helps scientists track the different species and understand them. The structure of bony versus cartilaginous fish. Bony fish skeleton structure have hard bones, and their bodies give them strong support, while cartilaginous fish are fish made of skeletons or flexible cartilage, which is lighter and helps them move more quickly in water. These fish are both separate structures, but that helps them swim, feed, and survive. Buoyancy differences. Bony fish use a swim bladder, which is a buoyancy organ found in bony fish. This bladder helps them float or sink by changing the amount of gas inside of the fish. Cartilaginous fish do not have a swim bladder, but instead they use large oil-rich liver in their movements to swim and float. These buoyancy differences make sharks stay floating and continue to swim or they will sink. This major difference in buoyancy changes how these fish move throughout the ocean. Scales and body. Bony fish have something called cycoid or centical scales. These scales overlap and help protect their bodies. Salmon or bass are examples of this. Cartilaginous fish have placoid scales, also known as denticles. These denticles are hard and flat. Denticles help the shark and ray swim faster and more efficient through the water. So on the bottom, you can see examples of cycloid and centical scales, which are bony fish. And then on the right, you can see placoid scales, which are for cartilaginous fish such as a shark. Gill structure and respiration. Bony fish have an upper column, which is a bony flap that covers and protects the gills. The upper column helps the fish pump water over the gills as they are still. Cartilaginous fish have gill slits on the sides of their bodies, and they do not have an upper column. Reproduction strategies. Most bony fish use external fertilization, which they release many eggs into the water where they are fertilized. This produces a large amount of offspring. Cartilaginous fish use internal fertilization, which many species may lay large eggs or give birth to young. Habitat, behavior, and ecology. Bony fish live in almost every underwater environment, such as coral reefs, hard or soft coral, rivers, and lakes and oceans. Cartilaginous fish are most often seen for predation with their bodies. Their skeletal and buoyancy differences shape where they live and the roles they play in the food web. So on the bottom, you can see two examples of hard coral and soft coral, which is where the bony fish live, and then on the right, you can see cartilaginous fish in their habitat. Real-world case study. My example is hammerhead shark population declining. Hammerhead sharks are an example of why cartilaginous fish may face more risk than bony fish or any other fish. They grow slowly, have fewer babies, and rely on specific habitats like coastal areas in the deep ocean. Slow reproduction and overfishing has now led to hammerhead species now endangered. Studying their classification helps scientists create plans and track the population trends of these fish, such as the hammerhead shark. Why it matters. Understanding the differences between bony and cartilaginous fish helps us see how their different structures and adaptations to marine life affects their lives. It also teaches us why some species are more open to threats such as habitat loss or overfishing. Learning how these fish are classified and how they function in the ocean makes it easier to protect our marine biodiversity and keep healthy ecosystems. Thank you.